welcome back for another book review. Today, we're talking about this one. This is Chakra Wisdom, Healing Negative Thoughts, Feelings, and Beliefs with Meditation, Yoga, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this part. The Treya? Maybe I'm probably mispronouncing it. The Treya Process. This is by Trish O'Sullivan. So, ta-da, this one. So it really comes down to that last bit that I don't know how to pronounce. But the Treya or whatever, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. I know. But that concept is her version of the mind, body, soul, whatever variation you want to go from there. But basically that, where I think hers is like spirit, mind, and chakras or something. No, energy. Like prana, chi, energy, mind, and chakras. Yeah, that. Basically, it's her concept that takes the three major thingy things, and she talks about it throughout the entire book. That's what the book is about, is her system. It is not a beginner level book. Do not go into this if you have no idea about the chakras or yoga or meditation, visualization. This is not a beginner book. This is a pretty intermediate to advanced take on the chakra system. It includes concepts that I don't know if it's just advanced chakra that exists everywhere or if it's her own thing that she's done. But she puts like chakras between the main ones, and they're like kind of connected, but like kind of not. Like you have the imagination chakra and the fearless chakra. And you're like, couldn't that just fit into the pre-existing ones? I don't know. But it talks about all of that. It has a lot of stories from other people, just when convenient to connect to the particular chapter that she's doing. And then the same exercise over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm gonna be really generous. I gave it a 3, and it's like a good, I suppose. I don't think it's for me. Maybe other people will like it, but that's it. It's not that good, even giving it some grace. So one of my first major things with this book is there's a lot of, this is the way. This is the only way the thing is. Whatever it is she's talking about. I personally don't like that concept. I don't love people that tell me this is the one and only way, because that never has ever worked, like ever. Even gravity, you can argue it only kind of works sometimes. You have different like things that contribute to it differently. If you throw a like rock and a feather, gravity's gonna affect it a little differently because mass and science and stuff. But then also you get higher into the atmosphere, gravity rules start to change a little bit, and then you get out into space, it's real different. Like, nothing is exact. And let alone when you get into the more woo-woo topics, I'm gonna be honest, I'm team all of it is made up. None of it holds any more credence than the other. And like, we just do it to make ourselves feel better. That's it. And like, whatever system works for you, but don't say that your way is the only way. That really is just like nails on the chalkboard of my brain. It is so obnoxious. Like, you don't know everything. And I don't know, it really bothered me how often it was, this is the only way, this is the way it has to be, it is this, blah, blah, blah. I don't love that. She also is on the side that you have to get rid of your shadow. I don't believe that either, but also like I work with hell a lot, so your light and dark half, they coexist constantly. You get to know your shadows, you should know your shadows, but also to say that you're gonna get rid of them completely, I don't love that. Honestly, throughout this book, one of the big things that kept coming up for me as I was going through it is it reminded me kind of, big on the kind of one, I swear I've been mentioning it a lot, but it was a really good book. But it was Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by, I think it was Pete. I don't think it was Peter, I think it was Pete Walker. That book, dude. That, it feels very much the same, but not. And like, that book, it feels like they both have the same premise that random things from your childhood mess you up. And messes you up to different degrees. And to be honest, this book makes it sound like everything from your childhood is gonna mess you up for like ever, and that again you have to find the shadow and heal the shadow, where Walker is a little bit different, and it talks about how not every traumatic situation is going to be handled traumatically, and it's all about how you process things, and you know, some things you learn how to process very well, you feel the thing, you deal with it, and then you're done. It goes through it in a much better way than this book for handling your emotions and working through stuff, whether you are young. I don't think I have any children watching my channel, because if so, why are you here? But like, you know, if you are doing a lot of like inner child work, trying to work through trauma and stuff, like I think that book's gonna be better than this. I think it handled the topic better. And it was just this weird back and forth of like trying to be psychology, but kind of not, and kind of woo-woo, but kind of not. And then just the freaking stories were obnoxious. Like it just was so much. It's so random. And I'm like, I don't care what Joe felt as a kid when his mom told him no. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, it's mean, but I don't care. Like, I'm not here to read about some random stranger that I have no idea who they are. And it was a lot of the book. And then, on top of that, every single freaking exercise is the same one. I started to track it, and I'm like, I think the verbiage changed by like 5 words for like a page and a half of an instruction every time. Every time it's the same. And I'm like, you know, I do that a little bit in my own books. I get really annoyed with myself when I'm doing the audiobook to have to constantly be like, okay, you're gonna clean the space, you're gonna cleanse the space, you're gonna ground, you're gonna center, you're gonna cast circle. But that inevitably, as you go through the books, especially the one that I'm working on right now, inevitably by the like midpoint to like the last half, that sentence structure gets real small, because I'm like, I just don't care, you've read it enough, you get it. Whereas in the beginning it's very explained and stuff. This is the same. She copy pasted constantly. Like every chapter had probably at least, I want to say like 2 to 3 of the exercise, but it's the same one. It's the same exact one. Like to the point that I'm like, were you trying to pad the word count? Were you trying to pad the page count? What is going on? Why is it the same? And if it's the same, just say, go do this exercise. Because I swear Penzak did that in the Temple series. He's like, hey, remember the thing? Go do the thing. On page whatever. If you don't remember, boom. And then go on with the actual thing to do. He doesn't tell you how to ground and center and access the screen in your mind and the countdown and all of that. He doesn't tell you that every single freaking time, especially as the books go on. This was the same thing. It was like if Penzak told you how to do the same thing. Same thing. Every single time, nothing changed at all. Verbiage was almost identical. Again, I swear it was like 5-word difference every time. Oh, this one, I'm gonna have to actually show you it, but this, so there's a little bit of mentionings throughout of yoga, which is like, bro, this is not, first of all, this is the first image of the yoga poses, just to set the stage. Look at this. Can you do that? No. Most of us can't do that. You're gonna fall and break your neck. We don't have that kind of strength, that core strength, the arm strength. Oh my God, you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't do that. Don't encourage that right off the bat. And then you're like, oh, well, it's a little bit better. This, I can guarantee you, your shoulders are probably gonna die. If you're like me, oh my God, that's a rip. That's not a pulled muscle, it's gonna tear stuff. Like, child's pose, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's still, you gotta be careful if you don't have really flexy hips. This can be extremely painful. If you're on the chunky side, not fantastic for your calves, by the way. You'll lose circulation. But even this, like, this is still, this is not a beginner level. This is assuming that you have some level of, like, fitness and honestly yoga in particular, because it's a, these are, none of these are, like, some of them are like, this you could probably do. This, no. This, like, the yoga is just like, it's pretty. This, dude, absolutely not. Like, that one, maybe, but like, dude, your ankles are gonna hurt so bad. Also, never let your knees go over your toes. That's bad for your joints. But like, that yoga, that's not easy for people. That is very, at least intermediate, I would say advanced. Because that's a beginner yoga. Ain't nothing like that at all. That is some really, really advanced techniques. And that feels really weird. So again, it's putting everything into this like intermediate advanced category. Which at that point kind of brings into the question of who would this be for? Because like, if it's not for beginners, wouldn't the intermediate to advanced already kind of have an idea? you know? There was one quote, this just in particular, I was just like, oh my God, of course, why not? Again, sticking along with just this book. Okay, so on page, oh yeah, you ready for the angel numbers of the day? 111, oh yeah. We have this quote that's so stupid. So, this is talking about, I think the girl's name was Sarah. She was adopted. She was literally uprooted from her birth mother and home, damaging this energy and producing an abiding sense of insecurity instead of security. And it's like, you know, cool. That's adoption shaming at its finest. Sure, does every adoption go perfectly? No. But also, you know how shit that is of a take at all times? Because you want women to have kids and not abort them. And then, what do you think happens if they're not gonna keep it? Like, the adoption world? Frickin' chaos. And I'm gonna be real, if you're reading that and you're looking into being a parent, what message does that send to you? You're going to traumatize a child. You're gonna choose the traumatized child with circumstances you had nothing to do with. And a lot of times, honestly, if it's straight into adoption, from birth, you were well vetted to go into that home. Of course, things go through the cracks. There's still assholes everywhere. But on a whole, usually, you're very wanted by a family who cannot have their own and can't do it a traditional way. So a birth mother has met with these people, has chosen them out of a long list. The amount of adoptive parents to available children, really small, because this is not for the older kids. That is a whole other ballpark of having to play foster system, and if a bio family decides to step up, all your work is gone. They're the first top pick. It's just a hot mess express, but could we not add the shame to people who are adopting? Like, it's so stupid. And again, it's a little thing, but like, it's just perpetuating a problem. And I'm not a firm believer that all adoption is like this horrific experience, but also it's shit like this that makes me want to pay $200,000 at least to have a child to not have to play this game till I die. Because seriously, again, think about it from the adoptive parent side, where you can't just get pregnant and you get to play these games. It's a stupid thing. I know I'm sensitive about it, but also, I'm not the only one. And the adoptive people I have known in the real world, not online, real life, it's never been an issue. So to summarize, this book, I would say this is really for like intermediate to advanced on meditation, chakras, and yoga, and just in general psychology and learning about yourself, knowing how to process things, because she doesn't actually do that. She doesn't actually really tell you how to do that. She just like expects you to just do it, which is a very neurotypical way to tell you how to do this stuff. Not exactly helpful. If you're wanting an actual book on chakras that is good, I talked about one, I think it was last year, like The Wheels of Life. Still by far the best chakra book I have come across yet. So if you're wanting a chakra book and you're like, oh no, that's the one to go get. It was really good. It did such an amazing job talking about it. It's a dense mega book. Just prepare yourself. Like, it's not the biggest one I've ever read, but it's up there. It's a chonker, but it's good. So if you want to find it, you can always hunt on my channel and find it. But that one was better than this. This was just, it was not for me, to say the least. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, I post other book reviews, my Monday Funday books, my witchy and witch-ish books on Tuesdays. Some Thursdays I have life updates, and then on Saturdays I usually post my Words from the Underworld series. So if you want to head over there, check it out. It's always linked down below.